Welcome to the Firehorse finale flower forecast. I am going to go through all kinds of information about this last 6 months of this Firehorse year. I am going to go over some reminders of some of the things that I said 6 months ago that we've probably already forgotten about this year as just a general baseline. Then I'm going to talk about some themes for this last section of this year. And then I'm going to make some flower essence recommendations to help you maximize your potential and ease moving through this latter part of the year. So just as a reminder, the Firehorse year characteristics are that it is dynamic, it is fast moving, it's inspiring, it's passionate, it's active. You'll be on fire. It can also lead to burnout, spinning your wheels, overwhelm, getting overstimulated. And I want to talk to you about your physical body first. So these are some reminders of things that I said 6 months ago. So either you were on that initial flower forecast call and you heard these and you might have forgotten some of them. This is a reminder, or maybe you weren't on the call and this will be new to you and really important for the rest of this year. So in terms of your physical health and really supporting your body, you want to be pickier this year with food. You want to be discerning about what you're putting in your body. Don't just eat at any restaurant or any food. If something is a little bit questionable, it's a no. And also to recognize what disturbs your body. What are the things that don't sit well with you? Make a list. Be really aware. When you can even keep a food journal. What you ate, how you felt. Did you get bloated? Did you feel uncomfortable? Did your joints get achy? I know I am here right now. I'm here in Singapore, and I got food poisoning last week. Both Taylor and I were sick for 3 days with a terrible fever and food poisoning. And boy, I really got the sense, you get that heightened sense of afterwards of whatever you put in your body. You become so sensitive to knowing what's sitting well and what's not. So especially if you're traveling, really pay attention. If you're going to places where there's a different microbiome, to other countries, or just in general, taking note, this is the year, Firehorse year is the year to recognize any sort of food sensitivities or allergens. If there's anything you're allergic to or something that creates a response in your body, this is the year to figure that out and solve that once and for all so that you can just simply avoid those foods and avoid feeling crappy. It's time to get your blood tests done or your food carol testing or any kind of test that you can do to figure out what foods are supporting you and what's causing you some devitalization. This is also the year to do a lot of outdoor activities in terms of physical movement. This is the year to challenge yourself. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want to go overboard, but this is the year to do something out of the ordinary, whether it's like lifting weights, climbing, swimming, something that's like a little more exerting of your energy than usual, but also don't overdo it. This is also the year where you get a full permission slip to pamper yourself. And everybody has something different. I know I'm in Asia, so what it looks like for me is committing to going for reflexology appointments here in Singapore. We've been to 2 already. It was amazing. And when I was in Taiwan, we went to some hot springs, and that was just, we'd been working all month, and at the very end, we went to the hot springs, and I just sat in the hot water, and it just rejuvenated me. It gave me so much. It doesn't really take that much to fill your stores of energy. So figure out what it is for you. If it's hot springs, if it's a hot bath, if it's a massage, if it's reflexology, if it's whatever it is for you, make sure you care for yourself and more than you typically would. So this is something that feels a little bit indulgent. For me, the fact that we booked 2 or 3 foot reflexology massage sessions felt a little bit indulgent, and it should. This is the year for that. So you want to also do things that make you sweat, whether it's physical intensity, sauna, you're in a hot climate, it's summertime now, and then moving on into winter, you want to continue to do things that make you sweat. You want to detox. Okay, moving on from your physical body to your emotional health and support. This is the year that you want to focus, right? You want to put on your blinders. if, this is horse year, so you don't want to be distracted by too many things. You want to choose 1, 2, or 3 things that you're really focused in on this year, and don't look at anything else. If you really want to challenge yourself, just focus on one thing. Just pick one thing and really put all your energy on that one focus. You will be presented with a lot of flashy things and sparkly things and candy, and want to go after a lot of distractions this year. Put on your blinders and just focus on those main priorities. Another very important aspect of this year is to remember to cool down. Horses are very temperamental. This year we are very temperamental. People argue or feel an intense emotion or want to express or throw some blame around or have a reaction or an emotion. And this is the year to stay neutral. No matter what is happening around you, it's time to stay neutral. Just watch things arise, watch things fall. If you get blamed for something, just watch. Everything's kind of interesting. Everything's kind of funny. Watch everything happen around you. And if you feel like you're getting disturbed, just take a moment to quiet yourself down and just observe. Continue to observe and stay neutral. Super important for this year and the rest of this year. Do not be too easily influenced by others. Follow your own inner compass. This is the year to really, break free from the norm and follow your inner compass and trust your intuition. So this is the year to be independent, but you also want to work well with others and collaborate. But really important, you want to make that time to tune into yourself. Maybe it's combined with your self-pampering or your self-care rituals that you tune into yourself deeply and listen to what your inner stirrings are. Another really interesting element of this year is to back yourself up. So if you're doing something that's a little out there, a little innovative, a little different, or you're presenting in front of crowds, or maybe you're more visible, you will be susceptible to more skepticism, and you want to be able to back yourself up with studies, with numbers, with legal protection, whatever it is that you consider, support to back yourself up this year. Get support. And then you want to be kind to yourself. This is a year where you're taking a lot of action, you're being more visible, you're putting yourself out on a limb. And also, if you make a mistake, it's no big deal. It's just a learning experience. Don't blame yourself, don't blame anyone else, and be kind to yourself. And this is kind of in alignment with the staying neutral, but is to be really calm. And if something unexpected happens, which it will, don't let it throw you off. Just keep your cool, keep your calm, stay strong, and pause. Things are not as bad as they seem. And then don't let anybody lie to you, and don't lie. This year specifically is really important to catch other people when they're not telling the truth or when they're being untruthful. Pause and point it out to them. Hey, you're not telling the truth. Or you can let it go. And, if that's not a relationship that's important to you. But this is a very important time to not let people lie to you or to lie to others. And my last note that I have for the beginning of the year was to stop wanting, start doing to make happiness happen. So that is a recap of the Fire Horse year in general. The entire year from beginning to end will have those elements. Now I'm going to dig into the last 6 months of the year. This is the finale of the Fire Horse. We've gone through the whole head and we're in the mid body, and now we're going to work on the rest of the half of that horse. The most important thing right now is to stay neutral. Sources tell me that the month of July was very difficult for many people, whether you were sick or whether things went wrong or unexpected things arose, there were relationship difficulties, whatever it may be. July was tough for a lot of people, and August is like where we start to coast, right? We made it all the way up the big hill. And now we're starting to coast. August will be a much better month for people. Health will be good. Money will be good. Career will be good. All situations will be more favorable. We made it through the hardest part of the fire horse year. Congratulations. You did it. And July is over and August is here and things will go much more smoothly from here on out. The most important thing to remember for this year, again, is to stay neutral. If something seems like it's not working out, then, or it's getting really stressful, just stay neutral. Try to stay calm and just keep observing. Keep observing the situation. Be really patient. Stay neutral. That is our mantra for the rest of this year is stay neutral, no matter what happens or what challenges arise. And remember, it's never as bad as it seems. Okay, so for this last half of the year, it's going to be really important to work together with other people. I know I talked about not being influenced by other people, following your intuition, breaking away from the crowd. But there's also this element of horses like to be in herds, right? And it's important to work with other people, collaborate with other people. So do things your way. But if you want to scale your impact, if you want to create bigger and impact more people, run with a herd and utilize everybody's skill sets to magnify what it is that you're doing. Dig into your intuition and then align with people. Get into a herd of horses where you're in alignment with people. Really important this last part of the year to seek out people who are in alignment with you and then use the power of that herd to propel you all forward. You also want to be focused on amplifying your electrical coherence or your energetic coherence with your surroundings around you. So contemplate on what is it that brings you into alignment. Is it meditation? Is it a quiet walk? Is it eating certain foods? Is it taking a hot bath at night? What is it that brings your energy system into coherence, where you feel calm, you feel collected, like everything's on and connected? And you can even reflect on the last 1 to 2 months of your life. What are those things that have brought you into balance? So like before myself, it was one day of hot springs. It was getting some massages, doing meditation practice, doing a daily movement practice. Those things have kept me balanced. What is it for you? Take a minute to think. In the last 1 to 2 months, what has helped you stay in balance? If you have a pen and pencil, jot that down. And at the end of this series, I'm going to ask you a few more questions, some reflection questions to jot down. Okay, this is also the time to get really clear on what you want. Fire horse year, and then next year we move into another fire year. This is a really powerful energy. You're going to be having a lot more visibility, and you want to establish in your mind and in your heart exactly what it is that you want. The universe can provide for you what you want if you know exactly what you want. That is the first step, is knowing what you want. So many of us, and myself included, get into situations where, yeah, we have big dreams and big visions, but when someone asks specifically, what do you want? We may not have the clarity to answer with specificity. So what you want to do is be clear on what you want, because it's like, and the most important part of this is you don't have to know how. That's where I think we get tripped up a lot, is we get tripped up in the, it's going to be hard. I don't know how I'm going to do this. This hasn't worked out for me before. I really want this, but, and you want to scratch all of those how pieces and just get into, wouldn't it be nice if? Wouldn't it be amazing if? Those are the kind of sentences you want to start contemplating with, is, wouldn't it be amazing if, ... and fill in the blanks, because you want to be thinking with open horizons towards opportunities and possibilities without figuring out how. If you're putting out with your sensors into the world a clear picture of what you want, then the world can respond to you. I mean, it's like, one example is being here in Singapore. Wow, it's even amplified that energy, especially because I have an American accent. I speak a little bit more softly. My accent is hard to understand, and Singaporeans are all about being efficient, cutting away excess words. And so a friend of us was saying when she moved here from India, she was so used to asking, like, when she wanted a coffee, she'd go to a coffee shop and say, may I have a cup of coffee? And it was like, what? So many words. And in Singapore, it's like coffee. You just say one word, coffee, or like kopio kosong. You just say the one word of what you want. Efficient. They need to know right away and with very little words. So it becomes really clear when there's a lack of clarity, especially with the accents and trying to understand. It's easier just to like laser focus it into exactly what you want. And imagine if you're having a conversation with somebody, you've probably had that same experience like I have when someone is kind of like rambling and going on and on and on and not being very clear. At the end, you're like, what do you want? If you just get clear and tell me what you want, I can give it to you. Right. And then I'll probably also had those situations where someone is very clear. I want a hot oat milk latte with a drop of almond extract in it. Very clear. Okay, I can make that. These are silly examples, but that's how the world works in 3D, in real, right? Just tell me what you want and I can provide it for you. In the same way is this greater world of electricity and synchronicity and energy. If we know what we want, even if it's just internally, it's a thought, it's a vision, and we're clear, this is what I want. And it's even more clear if we write it down. So your homework is to write down exactly what you want without any regard for how it's going to happen. And then keep looking back at this list when you get a chance, or type it up on your phone and then revisit that note every now and then, every day if you can, or every week, every month. Look at that list, adjust it if it changes. Be really clear about what you want, and then also have patience. Things take time. And then visualize what it is that you want. Now that you know what you want, visualize how it looks, how it feels, how it might be, how it could be. Again, without getting to the how, don't get bogged down. It's just, wouldn't it be amazing if, and then you visualize it happening and visualize how you're going to feel when that happens. Cherishing what you have is very important for this last part of the year. Don't take anything for granted. Appreciate others, really listen, let people know how much you care about them, how much you love them. Let them know how grateful you are for whatever it is that they're providing. Another thing you want to do for the rest of this year is to make more space, be able to hold more. You want to think like bigger containers of experience, of new experience, of listening, of deeper listening, of expansiveness, of responsibility, of holding, of wisdom, of new insights, of love. How can you make more space? And this could be like a Zen koan. You don't have to have the answer to that right now. It can be a question that just sort of reverberates in your experiences. How can I make more space? How can I be able to take on more in an effortless way? Can I take on more responsibility? So like for myself, I'm starting a second company in Asia, in Singapore. And some people might say, oh my goodness, like how do you sleep at night thinking about, all of the expenses and building a team and having a whole other entity in a whole other country and culture? That's huge. And on one hand, it is huge. And on the other hand, my system is making more space. It's making more of an ability to create another team, to have more support, to have a whole other flourishing and blossoming of something, and learning to create more space for allowing and opening an opportunity. So you want to ask yourself, how can I make more space? How can I be a more spacious and effortless container for more of everything? The other thing you want to focus on in this last part of the year is to make lemonade out of lemons. Yes, unexpected things happen all the time. Surprises arise. We have expectations for something to be a certain way, and then it turns out a different way. You want to make lemonade if you get lemons, rather than viewing a surprise or something unexpected as a bummer, a hardship, disappointment. getting in the way of your plans, disturbing, getting triggered, feeling emotionally down about it. Remember that when something unexpected happens, you can pivot quickly and see the benefit of it. Change plans, acknowledge what it is, learn from it, bring it into your experience, and then change your course of direction. You never know. It could actually be a blessing in disguise. And oftentimes these things are. It's just our initial response to them is crunch. So if you get it lemons, make lemonade, pivot quickly. So that's a summary of the themes that we're going to experience in the next 6 months. I want to give you some tools that are going to help you navigate with much more ease and smoothness over the next 6 months. I'm going to go over 5 mist combinations of flower essences and 4 single flowers that I feel will be the most helpful and beneficial for you to really maximize the potential for this second half of the year. The first one is Quiet Mind Mist. And the reason why I feel that this one is so important is because it helps you not only quiet down your monkey mind for your own lovely meditational moment-to-moment experience, but also for your ability to tune into others. It's really hard to tune into others and feel like you're in this inseparable, interconnected, intimate world if your mind is going a million miles an hour and that's how we get stuck in our own little world, is we're just spinning our wheels up here. So being able to lean into Quiet Mind Mist to quiet down the monkeys and get you more into your heart is going to make it easier to very easily listen carefully to others and be skillful about the conversations that you're having. Ask questions, listen to the answers, ask more questions, listen to the answers, stop talking and making it about you. Listen to the other person and be intrigued by what they have to share. And the more you can tune into others and be curious about their experience, the more you're learning. Quiet Mind Mist will help us do that. Luscious Embodiment. This comes into play when we have a difficulty taking care of ourselves. So, the self-care pampering piece that's so necessary for fire horse here. Maybe you hear me say that and you're like, yeah, whatever, but that's really hard for me to do. Then lean into Luscious Embodiment in any form, because it breaks down the blocks to us being able to experience more pleasure. If you have a tendency to be a workaholic, or prevent yourself from having delightful, divine, enjoyable experiences, Luscious Embodiment will allow you to have more of those experiences. I am in that boat too, of not really letting myself have those experiences. And I remember the day that this really nasty food poisoning hit, and we were in the throes of this terrible, excruciating fever for 3 days. Right before that kicked in, I had gone for a massage. And I remember being face down and just weeping, because it was just so amazing. And I was like, I can't believe that somebody is like giving me a massage and it feels this good and it's this special and it's this therapeutic and it's this healing and this woman is this kind and this generous. And I was just feeling kind of like disgusting in my body and hot and sticky and inflamed and eating all these weird foods. And I was just sort of overwhelmed and moved emotionally, that someone could be so kind, and just like how lucky I was and how grateful I was. So all that to say, it's okay to allow yourself to experience pleasure. It's okay to indulge in something that is like self-care for you. The more that you can give yourself just a little bit of nurturing input, the more you can output. Also, part of that is like in allowing yourself to indulge in a really big vision for yourself. Do I deserve that? Am I capable of that? Can I do that? This is the year to do that. Fire Horse year is the year to create and visualize big visions and make big things happen. So allow yourself to indulge in the self-care and whatever nourishment you need on the input to be able to amplify your output. Okay, inner knowing. This helps you get clear on what you want. It helps you visualize it into reality and magnetize it. It helps you break rules. It helps you trust your inner compass and your intuition. And it allows you to let things unfold. Sometimes we're impatient. Sometimes we want something to happen so badly that we get impatient and we try to force it and push it. Inner knowing helps us just trust the unfolding. And we don't have to have a whole plan. We don't have to know how. We don't have to know all the steps of how we're going to get there. Again, it's just that being really clear on what it is that we want. If I just only listen to people, just certain people's advice, like for example, the financial numbers, is now the right time to grow a business in Singapore? And somebody just didn't know anything about me or my capabilities or my team's capabilities and just simply looked at the numbers and the spreadsheets, they'd probably say, no, now is not the time to grow a business in Asia. But that is the key, right? Is knowing when to trust your inner compass and when you just know something, and to be able to navigate and trust that the way things are going to unfold is the way that you're visualizing them and seeing them into reality. Wild abundance. Wild abundance. You want to lean into wild abundance because you want to open to greater and greater opportunities and possibilities. You don't want to block with what the universe has to provide for you. You don't want to block it by getting into scarcity mentality of I'm not enough, or this isn't enough, or I don't have enough, or thinking small, or do I deserve this? You want to open it up and know that you deserve all kinds of possibilities, and that Mother Nature is the best example of abundance. I always say that, if you have a fruit tree, that it produces more fruit than your family can eat, and you have to start giving it away to people because there's just so much of it. And that's what the true nature of life is. There is tremendous abundance everywhere. It's just funneling it, channeling it, doing good for people, and opening up those energies so that you can receive it. Notice synchronicities. Listen to the environment around you. If people keep mentioning something, take note of it. Notice the signs around you and open yourself up to wider possibilities and something that you've never experienced before. Wild abundance will help get you out of that small thinking mode of I'm not enough, or I'm not good enough, or whatever it is, and open to greater opportunities. Another one that you want to lean into is open heart. And this is to facilitate more intimate connections with people, to keep your heart open. Don't shut down. As you are opening yourself to bigger and bigger possibilities, that will be the tendency, is to get afraid, constrict, and then protect your heart. This is going to be your antidote to keep your heart open. Keep opening your heart towards more vulnerability, more visibility, more being seen, more connecting, more intimacy. And when you get that desire to constrict and protect, use open heart to just keep opening yourself up and connecting with others. Don't rush things, and just let them unfold. Okay, so now I'm going to switch gears here. We talked about the mists that I recommend for this latter part of the year. I want to tell you about the single flowers that I think will be the biggest assets for the rest of this year. The first one is a tiny orchid that we collected in Nepal. It is the secret untold flower essence that we collected at the end of our massive trek through the Panchase Mountains in Nepal when we were shooting season 2 of Flower Hunters. This one was not featured in the series, and it's a standalone flower. It wants to be on its own. And this flower is exactly what we need for amplifying our alignment, our electrical coherence with others, a sense of unity, of teamwork, of interconnection, of being able to really sense in the field our sense of oneness and coherence with the world, and the sense that we're a part of this larger, greater web. And when you pull on one string, it's like being a part of a spider web. You pull on one thread, the rest of them move. And it's like the fascia of the body, actually. You could see it as like a deeper understanding of the fascia of your body, or the fascia of space where we're all connected. And really helping us develop a deeper sense of trust and awareness that helps guide us where we need to go in this latter part of the year. Another flower that will come to your aid in a really powerful way is the butterfly pea. This is especially helpful and indicative if you have a hard time knowing what you want. So many of us, we may have ideas, we may have visions, may have wishes and dreams, but we may not have it really dialed in precisely what it is that we want. And I don't mean how to get there, what your plan is necessarily. I mean precisely what it is that you want and how you want to feel. So blue pea, which a lot of people are familiar with, it's a butterfly pea, like those beautiful blue drinks here in Singapore. It's seen in the Baba Nyonya culture, where they use the blue pea to color the rice blue in desserts and other dishes. It's really gorgeous. But you may have seen like a butterfly pea tea. And that's what this flower is. It's a double butterfly pea flower, and it's blue in color. So you'll find it a lot in Southeast Asia, but why it is so important right now is because it really helps you figure out what you want and bring it to fruition and see the larger vision, clarify all the details. If you have felt fuzzy or indecisive, or, it could be this way or it could be this way, or maybe you tend to get influenced by other people, or you think you want something and then you scroll on social media and it's like, well, maybe I want that, or maybe I want something else. It really helps you get clear on what you want, put together a firm plan, and be able to see into how you can create a legacy, not only for yourself, but future generations. The third flower that I believe is going to be really powerful for us is called Bowl of Beauty Peony. It is by far the most, if you're a peony person, if you love peonies as much as I do, I love peonies. I grew up with peonies. I remember being a kid in my mom's garden and burying my face in those giant, ruffly pink flowers, usually still pink or magenta. But this Bowl of Beauty Peony is got to be the most beautiful peony I've ever seen in my life. It looks like a little white bird's nest in the center. And it is these, rounded petals, like scoop-like petals around. It's just the most exquisite peony flower you've ever seen in your life. And it helps us treasure what we have. It helps us cherish what we have, not take for granted anything, much less take advantage. Or see it in the frame of really take advantage of what you have in your life, really show appreciation for the people that are supporting you and that you care about. And it gives you the ability to really sink into your experience of cherishing what's going right. And what happens when you focus on what's going right is you attract more of that. So the more that you are holding space for more and really cherishing what you have and revel in what is coming into your life, and really feeling into the true beauty of your existence and those around you, the more that you're going to attract that level of abundance and beautiful experiences. Bowl of Beauty Peony is also going to dissolve any tendencies that we may have to be careless. Again, you think fire horse year, it's like putting on your blinders and going for it. Sometimes we can be clumsy or misstep or make a mistake. And Bowl of Beauty is coming in to really dissolve that tendency of being careless and really help us amplify our awareness and our cherishing of what is around us. Another flower that's going to be specifically helpful for this timing in this year is called the raspberry daylily. It's the wildest looking daylily. I actually grew it myself. I'm so proud of myself. I don't really have a green thumb. That would be my mom, but I took a try and starting in snake year at starting to grow things. And this is one of the most wild looking, roughly sexy daylilies I have ever seen. And its ability to encourage us to see unexpected events as blessings is tremendous. So maybe you like me have, we have plans and we have expectations and we have things that we want to go a certain way. And when something unexpected arises or a surprise happens, it can make us feel irritated, inconvenienced, bummed out, disappointed. And this flower essence helps us pivot quickly and take whatever it is that's coming in to surprise or shock us and use it again, like I was saying earlier, make lemonade out of lemons. And it gives us a sense of like, okay, how do I see this as an adventure? How do I turn this around and get intrigued by, turning these lemons into lemonade? Or at the very least, can I find myself being more flexible and more graceful through change? There's a lot of change happening around us. Things aren't static. Being a human means that we get sick, we have crazy experiences, we grieve the loss of loved ones, and there's constantly change. So really being able to view change as a blessing rather than a hindrance or something to be triggered about, to approach it with a sense of adventure, intrigue, like, okay, well, this is happening. Okay, what's the blessing in it for me? How can I turn this into something really positive and powerful to benefit myself and others? And how can I expect that if something is not going the way I think it should, that there might be some other possibility right around the corner? And to expect that, to learn to expect that when something happens that is not the way we thought, that there's something better in the plan for us. And to allow ourselves to feel refreshed and reinvigorated by change, right? It's like when you're walking in a rushing river and you're stepping on rocks, and some of them are jiggly and not stable, and it's forcing you to really be aware and be present. So when life is throwing lots of change at you and lots of surprises, it's like, how can you let this invigorate your system and open you up to a greater field of possibilities, knowing that we are divinely guided and that we divinely guide ourselves in our lives. Okay, so now is the time that you are going to grab a piece of paper and a pen. I'm going to ask you approximately 10 to 15 questions. I'm going to give you a short amount of time. There's actually very little time. This is speed journaling. That means you're going to try not to edit yourself, and you're going to write down the first thing that you think of. The first question is, what are the 1 or 2 or 3 priorities or focuses that you have for the rest of this year? Next question, if you had to say no to everything and you could only have one focus for this year, what would that be? What is it? What is your one major priority? And how is it evolving from the beginning of the year until now? Next question, how are you pampering yourself? How are you engaging in self-care? How are you caring for yourself this year? Jot it down. What can you either continue to do or initiate doing? Maybe it helps you choose a recurring day, like every Sunday I'm going to do X. How can you commit to going a little overboard and being a little more indulgent about taking care of yourself? We're trying to balance out the overstimulation of this year. Next question, in terms of eating, make a list of foods that irritates you. Make a list of foods that nourishes you. Creating good conditions for excellent health has a lot to do with knowing what creates inflammation in your body and avoiding it. What nourishes and reinvigorates your body and leaning into it, letting yourself have it. Like chocolate ice cream. Just kidding. No, for me, it's like all kinds of strange things like chicken livers and oysters, and things with all kinds of iron and minerals that my body needs. For you, it can be something totally different. Next question is, what are those things that support you in staying neutral, cool, calm, collected? when things get a little intense, let's say? What practices give you a propensity or greater ability to stay cool, calm, and collected, and neutral when intensity arises or when challenge arises? And how often are you engaging in those activities? Next question is, what allows or encourages you to think bigger? What or who encourages you to think bigger? You want to lean into that. What makes you feel adventurous? That's a fun question. What makes you feel adventurous? Next question is, what's your big vision? I know you can't do a whole dissertation on this. This is speed journaling. Write down phrases, words. What's your big vision? Next question is, what do you want? Jot it down. First thing that comes to mind, words, phrases, what do you want? And next question is, what do you cherish? What are you most grateful for? What do you cherish and what are you most grateful for? Next question is, what are some ways that you can let surprises inspire you instead of disappoint you? Or if that's too tough of a question, what are some like things that you can lean into for support if you get an unexpected surprise? And the last question is, what encourages you to have a deeper trust in the unfolding of things? What encourages you to have a deeper trust, whether it's spending time in nature, meditation, spending time around certain people? What is it for you that encourages a deeper trust in the way that things are unfolding? And then you're going to take a look at all of your answers. Notice if anything surprises you, if there are any themes, what keeps coming up for you, and see if you can identify one major insight or aha that you can share with a loved one or family or friend. In summary, for the next 6 months, the flower essences that I recommend would be some combinations: quiet mind, luscious embodiment, wild abundance, inner knowing, and open heart. This could be in any format, from elixir to mist to an anointing oil to serum. You want to just be getting them in as often as possible. And then to focus in on 4 individual flower blends. That is the tiny orchid from Paul, the Bulbophyllum roseopictum, 2 garden flowers, the raspberry daylily and the bowl of beauty peony. And last but not least, the butterfly pea flower. These are some really luxurious flowers that are going to help you care for yourself over the next 6 months, and they'll act as really helpful tools for stretching you into your next level of abundance, possibilities, and connection with others.
Wow. Thank you, Katie. That was really interesting. I love that you went over the last 6 months as well as the upcoming 6 months, because I looked back over what's happened and I realized that the flowers that you recommended 6 months ago were a tremendous support for the first half of the fire horse year. In fact, as I look back, there are things that I would never have guessed, like, for instance, my level of physical activity, or actually knowing what foods are nurturing for me and changing my relationship with food. So it's been really, really helpful. So appreciate it. And I'm sure people are asking, well, how can I get my hands on these flowers? And the myths are available now. The ones that Katie mentioned, the quiet mind, luscious embodiment, inner knowing, wild abundance, open heart, those are listed below, and you can go right now to lotuswei.com and they're available. The single flowers are in a special program, We call it the Flowerevolution. And what's cool about that is that you get 2 bottles now of the special single elixir, as well as a gift of the support mist. And we're taking 6 weeks to go really deeply into these flowers and nurture that transformation. You get special emails as well from Katie that have tips about what to look for, questions that bring your awareness to what's shifting, meditations, audio transmissions, little peeks inside Katie's head so that we can experience the flower on the deepest level. And then at the end of the flower period, we have a live call. It's also recorded if you miss it, but if you're there, it's so fun because people share their experiences and you can see the light bulbs going on and the dots getting connected as people realize that the things that they're experiencing in their life, when they hear someone else talk about it, it's like, oh, wow, that happened to me too. And understanding how the flower was at work. So the Flowerevolution is a 6-month program, and it's really helpful because we have to ask ourselves, like, where are we going to be in 6 months? You know, Katie often says that flower essences condense the amount of personal growth that we would experience in 6 months down to 1 month. But I think we have to really ask ourselves, like, without that kind of support and community, would it really happen? You know, life moves so fast, and we really have to do something proactive in order to attain those goals that we set for ourselves. The Flowerevolution is such a good support for that. I mean, the flowers themselves are amazing, and then to have the community as well keeps us on track. So if personal growth and transformation are a priority for you, highly recommend you click on the link below, go to lotuswei.com, go to the Flowerevolution page. If you're seeing this in August, there's still an opportunity to get the whole 6-month bundle up front and save 15%, and then you'll have it all right now. If not, then you can also do it month by or flower by flower. We're doing 4 flowers in this 6 months, and you can do it one at a time. The Nepali orchid is the first one, and that one is I'm looking forward to that with the coherence, the teamwork, the unity. Then we'll have butterfly pea flower for clarity about what we want. Bowl of beauty peony, like everybody I know is totally drawn to peony, so I think this will be wildly popular. And that one for cherishing all the things that we have, the goodness in our lives, and appreciating everything. And then the raspberry daylily, being in the flow, making the most of change and seeing it as an opportunity. So fabulous flowers coming up. We'd love to welcome you to the Flowerevolution. So thanks so much for being on this call, and we'll see you on the next one.